our voices blend. In waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side. Each stroke a dream we paint with pride. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way.
For being the liaison of communication with me and to really make this a really amazing event for everyone here. So let's give him a big round of applause. And we'll also thank Luan, who is also an essential member.
Advisory director.
And I also want to do a huge thank you to all of our volunteers and committee members who participated in making this gallery possible, this exhibit possible. Thank you to Dennis, thank you to Thelma for helping us with the frame check this morning, or that morning. That was a very essential aspect of that morning. Thank you to our new volunteers as well, who arrived really diligently to help us frame and hang the paintings and do some framing, some wiring. And thank you as well to our gallery committee for arranging, specifically Marion Fraser. Thank you so much for helping us that very, very fun day that we had last weekend. Now that we have finished our introductions, I will hand it off to Ian here.
Thank you, Tricia. Thank you, Tricia. And also, we're very grateful to EEC and everything you've done. This is a wonderful exhibition. I think maybe Ona can confirm. I think it's our largest exhibition yet. Would you say so, Ona? Ona, by the way, was previous IWS Canada president. When I joined, Ona was president. And I was actually quite shocked when she wanted to step down. I thought you'd carry on forever. You're doing such a great job. So we're happy to have her here, and she's going to give us a speech later. It's a lot of work. It's honestly, this is half my work goes into IWS, and the rest I have to try and make money out of. So it's a lot of, but it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy it. It's so much fun to be able to organize things like this, organize plein air outings, online exhibitions, because as you know, we're mostly online organization. So it's rare that we have this chance to meet everyone in person. I have a speech regarding that, so I'll read it out. How many days do we spend looking at each other's art online? How much time do we spend interacting with profile photos and lines of text? How often do we wish we could meet all these people in person and see their artwork in real life? As a predominantly online-based group, and especially due to the vastness of our country, this is how we spend our time interacting with each other in our organization. The advantages to online galleries, magazines, and meetups are many. In fact, we wouldn't be able to function with all these advantages in technology. As Ona can attest to how it used to be back when people would send in checks and send in e-transfers and invoices. And so we're very grateful that we have a lot of tools now that allow us to grow, because otherwise the administration would just be too much to handle. Downside, though, is that we miss the value of that human interaction. With technology taking over our lives more and more, organizations like IWS Canada are essential to push back against this trend. We try to use that technology and head in the other direction, bring it back into personal relationships, meetups, and appreciate each other's art in this unique medium that requires the in-person viewing of how we manipulated the natural flow of paint and water to create unique compositions, the likes of which we would never be able to reproduce if challenged to do so again. With the advancement of AI, the foundations of many art forms are being undermined. The joy in creation and refining one's craft is being replaced by a cheap alternative to instant gratification. With watercolor, its natural process is inherent within the medium. No counterfeit will ever match the satisfaction of watching the paint flow and mix on the paper. The interaction of the brush with the water and the surprise at the results of one's labors. So despite these challenges, we are very pleased to report that IWS Canada has doubled in size in just the last 2 years. In connection with branches across the globe, we foster values that are being neglected in our daily lives. Not to create divisions between groups and people, but to become united in our shared love of watercolor. With just over 100 paintings on display representing our artists from across the country, it is our largest exhibit yet. Very special thanks to the Etobicoke Civic Centre, their staff and volunteers, and for their patience and hard work in hanging all these pictures, and also to our volunteers who have put so many hours behind the scenes to make this organization what it is. We'd like to officially mark the opening of our show, United Through Watercolour 2025. Luan, you want to come and do the ribbon cutting?
With every brush, a story starts in gentle tones and vibrant hearts. From east to west, our voices blend. In waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side. Each stroke a dream we paint with pride.
Ready?
United through
And we declare IWS Canada 2025 officially open.
coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we
You want
light
to say
up
something
the
there?
way.
We've got Ona Kingdon, past president of IWS Canada. She's joined us here, and in the time she's spent away from IWS Canada, she's been making a new book, illustrated book. She's a fantastic, realistic watercolor painter, the likes of which is not easily duplicated. Her work is exceptionally good, and I'm so glad she's put it to use with this book and really got it out there and now distributing it across the world. And here you go, Ona Kingdon, past president of IWS Canada.
United through watercolor, across this land we stand.
Hi, everybody. Oh, it's so good to see so many people here on such a nice day. So, yes, I was president of IWS Canada between about 20 and 2020.
So about that, yeah.
Yeah, so about 4 years, I was president. And from then we moved it from basically quite a small new society to not as big as it is now, but definitely growing and getting attention around the world, which was great because it's good to allow people to see what brilliant talent that we have in Canada for watercolor. So what have I been doing since? As Ian said, I decided to step down, because I'm a firm believer that new people to a society can bring new things and helps the society grow. So it's nice, however much we like to play a part, it's nice to hand the reins over and get new input into the society. So since I stepped down, COVID happened. And I had full intentions when I stepped down. I thought, great, I can now devote my time to the exhibitions worldwide. And then everything shut down. And I thought, okay, Ona, what are you going to do now? So I turned to my other love, nature and the garden. And I decided to write and illustrate a book about monarch butterflies, basically, because it was my sense of normality. I could go out and the birds were still singing, the insects were still fluttering around, and I could just forget everything else that was happening. It was also a way I felt when I was doing exhibitions, it's very hard to get everything that you want to say in one painting, because I am very much a visual storyteller when I paint. I like my paintings to convey a message. So writing a book was great because I had total free reign. I had nobody saying, oh, paintings had to be this size, in this format. It had to, sometimes exhibitions have themes, so it had to fit this theme. I could have total free reign. And so I wrote the story. And then, yeah, being an artist, I got a little carried away with the illustrations. So the book has actually got over 80 watercolor illustrations in it. So yeah, so there's a watercolor painting on almost every page. But it was so much fun, and I could just forget the world and enjoy painting, which is what we all want to do. So coming back now to exhibitions, what is the difference between being an author illustrator, that I was writing this book, and an exhibition artist? Now, a lot of people say, oh, it must be a huge difference. It's not. Because if you think when we paint and why we paint because we want to give a little bit of our soul to other people so that they can enjoy it, so that they maybe can see parts of their soul in your painting. It's a way of connecting. And the book was just the same. So I'd like to read the very first part of the book, because I think it has such connections to exhibitions as well. So it's called The Paper Butterfly. The long, graceful fingers moved, turned, and folded in an enchantingly rhythmic dance. As her maker skillfully formed the creases of her body, the paper butterfly sensed such tenderness and compassion. Every soft caress of his fingers filled her soul with his warmth. She felt herself sway, first to the left and then to the right, as the fingers began to form the pleats of her wings. Suddenly, the paper butterfly sensed a flutter deep within her folds. It almost seemed as if this feeling would carry her high into the air. But the sensation was fleeting. And as she lay in her maker's hands, waiting for the dance to continue, she longed to experience that sensation again. I'm not sure if you can see the pictures from here, but that's the picture of her just beginning to be made. The turning and creasing began once more, and after a few more folds, the paper butterfly felt complete. She moved her small head to look more carefully at how she had been formed. She felt sure that her maker had designed her to be beautiful, but she also wondered if there was a deeper reason why he created her. She hoped that her life would hold more meaning than simply being object of beauty. But as a newly formed butterfly, she had no idea what her purpose might be. And that, I think, is the message that I wanted to convey with the difference between the story and the paintings here. Because when we create a painting, we're thinking about not just the fact that it's pretty, it's beautiful, that we want people when they're walking past to go, oh, and come in and look closer. But also, what is the purpose of that painting? Is it to make people feel happy, joyful? Is it to make people question? Is it to encourage people to think about why the artist painted something. I often think when I'm painting, I like my message to be strong enough to encourage people to form a connection, but not to be too strong that everybody can't put their own personal thing into what they see. And it was the same with the book. I've got a part of the book where the paper butterfly, she basically flies out of an open window. She gets blown out of an open window and she meets the monarch butterflies, and she eventually does the long migration south with them in the fall. And when she first meets a monarch, it's a veteran monarch that has just done the migration back up part of the way. And he is a battle-worn monarch with lots of scars. And I imagined as I was painting him and writing about him that he was like an army or naval veteran that had been in wars. And I had somebody from Nova Scotia contact me that I didn't know, just had bought my book through Amazon, and said how the book and my interpretation of the elderly monarch butterfly had validated his whole existence since he'd been in the Iraq War, because he lost a leg. And he said until he read my book, he felt very negatively about losing the leg, that he had a disability. And once he read the bit about the elderly monarch, basically saying that it was scars that celebrate his life, that show his honor, his, that sort of thing. He said, I now have a new outlook in life. And maybe as I was writing it, I hadn't thought that that connection would be made. But how wonderful we are as creative people, that we can help and connect with so many different people in different ways that we hadn't even anticipated. And I think that is the joy of art in all its forms, whether it's writing or painting. So Ian asked me to pick 3 winners. Do you want to do them now or later?
We'll do them now, because then we're going to go to the prizes.
So 3 winners, and I looked through the exhibition and I looked specifically for art that made connections. So technical expertise is great. And, we need to work on our technical expertise, but we also need to work on our ability to convey messages. It might be as simple in a portrait, that quote, the eyes are the windows to the soul. It draws you in. It might be a particularly atmospheric landscape that stops and makes you think. When I jury exhibitions, I tend to think it's basically a 3-step process. You walk past and there are some paintings that will immediately draw you. And then it encourages and pulls you in. But then the next level sometimes isn't there and sometimes is there. It's that when you're drawn in, is the connection made? Is there something that encourages you to think and look more deeply at things? And then the 3rd level is when you walk away, do you forget the painting and move on? Or is there something that is constantly saying, I need to go back and have another look? You might not necessarily know why you want to go back, and that's where the deeper level connections get made, that personal thing. And obviously when I'm jurying, you have to be more objective, because yes, there are paintings here that I will form very close personal connections with, and others that may be not so close personal connections. But you can see as a juror that other people may. And that's another thing I love in exhibitions, just sitting quietly in the corner and watching people as they walk round and seeing their individual personal connections. So yeah, that's basically the takeaway that I want to get. Okay. So the three paintings that I picked out, I think two people aren't here. So is that?
First one, Luan Quach for Sunkist.
You're welcome.
With every brush, a story starts.
Oh, hang on.
Gentle tones and vibrant hearts. From east to west, our voices blend.
I mean, a lot of people will know Luan's work. His watercolor portraits are so evocative, and there's always something, they're soft, but there's always something about them that makes you wonder why, what was the person doing, what were they thinking. So yes, there's that immediately I'm drawn to it, but there's that closer, makes your mind think. Okay, next person.
Kumar, sorry, how do you pronounce? Samaranayaki. Is Kumar here? Who can give it to Kumar? Bill? You live near Kumar? Okay. Receiving on behalf of Kumar is Bill Costigan.
We lift each other as we grow and let the love of painting show.
Last one.
Young and
Third one, I don't know if it's here or not. Nahu, Fire Beneath Stillness. And I can, or Huna, sorry. Huna, Fire Beneath Stillness. Is she here? I'll mail it to her.
From coast to coast with open
I'll come
hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow.
Okay, thank you very much, Ona. All right, moving along, then we're gonna get to our awards presentations. Luan, do you want to assist me here, handing out the awards? So we have a total of, included with our awards, will be a copy of Luan's new book. Have you? You ready?
No, it's up there.
Okay.
I'll grab it.
Okay. We have a certificate, a trophy, and a copy of Luan's new book will be included in the awards. First off, I'm gonna wait for him to get back. I'll go over the awards first. We have the President's Choice Award, which was my own selection. The rest mostly are selected by Luan, some we kind of considered together. First Steps Award. We have the Best Portrait Award. We have the Excellence in Watercolor Award. We have the Most Improved Artist Award. We have the People's Choice Award. Now have we set up the box, the People's Choice?
Yes, it's in the front.
Okay, at the front, there's a box for the People's Choice Award. You can vote on who you select as the best painting in the exhibition. So put in your vote, and at the end, when Luan is done with his presentation, then we will we'll count the votes and see who has won the People's Choice Award. We have the Spirit Award. We have the Most Improved Artist Award. Oh wait, they gave us two of those. Okay, I've got two Most Improved Artists. We'll think of another one.
Sure.
Then we have the Juror's Choice Award. Then we have the Best Landscape. Okay, starting off, we have
That's best landscape.
Best Landscape. I gotta find the.
We have Etobicoke for Sanctuary of Snow.
Etobicoke for Sanctuary of Snow. I don't believe he's here. That is the Best Landscape.
Yes, it's not here.
He's not here. Okay, I'll put that aside for her. And our next one is, if you have the magazine with you, you can follow along. We have the This is the biggest award. This is the most coveted award of the whole ceremony. We have the Excellence in Watercolor Award goes to Tina Price. Well, this is gonna happen. The blue water drop. Oh. Now Tina is one of our longest standing members, I believe.
Glad you didn't say all
Yes,
this.
no. Longest standing, and where is your painting? Where's your painting located? It's the
Canadian Shield.
Canadian Shield landscape there on the left.
Until it's
You go have
very
a look.
Canadian.
There you go. Congratulations, Tina. And here's your,
Here's a photo.
get a photo.
Here's the picture, of cameras there. And it's also blood. Okay, thank you.
Sure, very good.
I'd like to thank everybody at International Watercolor Society, led by Ian and Luan. And Ona, thank you so much for introducing me to the organization. Thank you to the Etobicoke Civic Centre. And congratulations to all the artists who have their paintings on the walls here. I'm honored to be included with you. I try to paint the nuances of nature and celebrate this beautiful land that we have. And so, for example, trees to me are old souls, conduits between heaven and earth. And the Canadian Shield is as elemental and primordial as it gets. I hope my paintings resonate with you. Thank you again for this honor.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you. Do you want the box? Yeah?
Oh, you don't.
There's a name. So.
You're probably waiting for a bigger one.
She's not going far, so. Okay, next award. Award for Best Portrait. The Outside by Milena Guberanek.
She here today.
She's not here today, no. Her portrait is the left side there.
The outside.
It's you can speak about it because this is your choice.
Right, the outside here interprets a No-10 study. Its composition echoing the Chinese letter girl, right? And her graceful post and the midtones convey both beauty and quiet protection. Under the roof, because in Chinese letter, if you add, this is a girl, if you add the roof, that means the girl, as long as stay inside, you're safe. You're outside, you're not safe. So that's why I'm looking from inside out. So whether it's a coincidental or carefully researched, adding narrative depth to the portrait. So congratulations to Milan.
Our next award is the Juror's Choice Award. So this is one we both kind of decided was worthy. Cheryl Girard with Ativan and Old Lace. Cheryl here, there today. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh, I didn't. Thank you.
It's beautiful piece.
Thank you.
Okay, this picture.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Overwatch is special.
Oops, yes, thanks.
Congratulations, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Our next one. Yeah, thought I had it. Our next next award goes to one of our relatively newer members who has shown quite a bit of spirit and energy and motivation in organizing our plein air outings, helping out, volunteering. She's done a lot in the last year. So we want to honor her with a special award. The Spirit Award goes to Susan Leith. And by the way, the cake we'll enjoy later was made by Susan herself. And the cupcakes, I believe, are they cupcakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, cupcakes and cake. Thanks to Susan. Okay, coming up next, we have. This one is the most widely publicized image of the whole exhibition. This was a follow-up to choosing it for the exhibition itself and for letting us use it as a sort of the face of our exhibition. I also think it's one of the best portraits we have in the show as well, and she's a quickly rising star and is getting all around the world, getting out there with her art and just doing a bang-up job. We want to thank her for her demo she's going to have later on. This is she's out in Vancouver, and she's going to be on at the end of the show just for Zoom from 5 till 6. Lorraine Simmons with Flower Gal. The Flower Gal, you can see on the left there. It's the image, the small image. It's funny, it's smaller than I thought it would be. I got the paintings in the mail and it's just. She's doing a demo. Yeah, she's doing the demo later for us on Zoom. And she's on Zoom right now, I believe. Hi, Lorraine. Congratulations. I should next one up. Our First Step Award. Do you want to describe this?
First Step Award, Caroline Watercolour for Purely Awakening.
You need to wait.
Now, radiates the light and shadow, showing breath sensitivity and promise.
Congratulations. What's so beautiful. Thanks. Right, moving along. Our next one, I believe just joined last year, was it?
Yes,
She,
and we got somebody to.
okay, we have someone receiving it. Most Improved Artist goes to Ali Kai. She has her painting Home Blossoms in the show. Ali Kai. Picture we have. Yeah. Picture we have. Oh. The next award, the Most Outstanding Work Award. This goes to one remarkable piece. It's very prominent in the exhibition. She's been very busy out west, promoting a recent exhibition as well. I sent a couple of paintings out there and she's been very helpful. It goes to Lan Feng, Most Outstanding Work Award. Now she's not here, so I'm going to mail it to her, but let's have a round of applause for Lan Feng. Next one up is honorable mentions. Do you want to say something about the honorable mentions?
Well, she does wonderful portrait that connects, just like Ona just mentioned.
Leslie Priestley for self-portraits.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
We have four in total of the honorable mentions.
Mariana Maroa.
Being an executive navigator, an excellent use of contrast and composition. You can see it over there on the left, just under the flower gal.
Wonderful shadow composition. I like it so much. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. And,
Show the picture.
Your next honorable mention, who again has been a lot of help, also with Mississauga Watercolour Society, is very involved and a good friend of the organization, Bill Costigain.
Now, all of a sudden I feel so short.
Here in the short Lake Simcoe, is this? Congratulations.
Thanks so much, Bill.
All right, this is our final for the awards ceremony. The last one we have is the People's Choice Award, and that one will award after we receive all the votes. At the end of the show at 4 o'clock, we'll announce the winner. So once again, there's a box at the back there. You can fill out your vote for the People's Choice Award, and we'll tally the votes at the end and read out the winner. So our last of the honorable mentions. Say something.
The last honorable mention goes to Edward Clark. I really admire Ed. I know him for several years at Mississauga Watercolour Society. He's very humbled and, you know, eager to learn all the time, even at his, you know, his young age. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To enjoy your show, and 3 o'clock, we will have a video demo of portrait from me. It's the this portrait here as a complete piece, right? You're gonna see step by step, right? Nothing hidden, you know, all the secrets is there.
Okay.
And that will be a short, maybe 40 minutes demo.
Yeah, starting around 3. So we've got 15 minutes now to just mingle, and we have plenty of snacks, and we have the IWS cake. So coffee, all kinds of stuff. So enjoy yourselves. We've got 15 minutes till Luan starts his demo. Thank you everyone for attending, and happy show.
With every brush, a story starts in gentle tones and vibrant hearts. From east to west, our voices blend. In waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side. Each stroke a dream we paint with pride. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way. world of wonder in our eyes. We lift each other as we grow and let the love of painting show. Young and old, both shy and bold, our stories through the art unfold. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. We are IWS Canada strong, one voice, one art, a global song. From sea to sea we proudly show the love of art that helps us grow. United through watercolor, what a sight to see. A family of artists painting in harmony. With courage, care, and friendship too, there's nothing we can't do. We're IWS, our spirits bright, together, painting life in life in light. Our voices blend, in waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side, each stroke a dream we paint with pride. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. A drop of paint, a soft sunrise, a world of wonder in our eyes. We lift each other as we grow and let the love of painting show. Young and old, both shy and bold, our stories through the art unfold. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. We are IWS Canada strong, one voice, one art, a global song. From sea to sea we proudly show the love of art that helps us grow. United through watercolor, what a sight to see. A family of artists painting in harmony. With courage, care, and friendship too, there's nothing we can't do. We're IWS, our spirits bright, together, painting life in life in light. every brush, a story starts in gentle tones and vibrant hearts. From east to west, our voices blend. In waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side. Each stroke a dream we paint with pride. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. A drop of paint, a soft sunrise, a world of wonder in our eyes. We lift each other as we grow, and let the love of painting show. Young and old, both shy and bold, our stories through the art unfold. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. We are IWS Canada strong, one voice, one art, a global song. From sea to sea we proudly show the love of art that helps us grow. United through watercolor, what a sight to see. A family of artists painting in harmony. With courage, care, and friendship too, there's nothing we can't do. We're IWS, our spirits bright, together, painting life in life in light.
Facing this way. Just like that.
With every brush, a story starts in gentle tones and vibrant hearts. From east to west, our voices blend. In waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side. Each stroke a dream we paint with pride. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. A drop of paint, a soft sunrise, a world of wonder in our eyes. We lift each other as we grow, and let the love of painting show. Young and old, both shy and bold, our stories through the art unfold. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, With every brush, a story starts in gentle tones and vibrant hearts. From east to west, our voices blend. In waters flow, the colors send. Beginners, pros, all side by side. Each stroke a dream we paint with pride. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line. Together we light up the way, painting a brighter day. A drop of paint, a soft sunrise, a world of wonder in our eyes. We lift each other as we grow, and let the love of painting show. Young and old, both shy and bold, our stories through the art unfold. United through watercolor, across this land we stand. From coast to coast with open hearts and brushes in our hands. We grow, we share, we learn, we shine in color, joy, and every line.
All right, so it is officially 3:00, so everybody will please make your way to your seats or gather around. We're going to have an amazing demonstration by Luan here. That's on our video screen on the left side of the gallery of the awards center. So enjoy and
But you know what you're doing by now, right? It's gonna be hard to convince you.
I don't think there's a limit.
Or you want to, yes.
Hi, everyone. I'd like to share a watercolor portrait demo with you. Now, unfortunately, we don't have enough chairs. So either you sit on the floor or stay for the next 40 minutes. It's not too bad, right? For 40 minutes. This painting, as you can see, the final product is there on the easel. Right? It's called Backlit by Graves. And that piece then took me about 2.5 hours to complete. But when I edited the video, I trimmed off all the unnecessary motions so that now it's condensed to about 35 to 40 minutes. So we can watch the process basically from beginning to the end. So I'll be here throughout the demo. Raise a question anytime, right? So I can answer you because, my hand's not busy thinking, right? My mouth is off. Okay, so feel free to ask questions. Now let's start, Tricia. So as you can see, my reference is black and white photo. I really like working this way, and I would encourage you to do the same because it gives me lots of freedom to choose my own colors and express myself. So rather than being limited by the exact flesh tone. Now, as you can see, the biggest contrast here in the painting is the hair, the beard, and the background. Right? It's black and dark is dark and white is white. And that's what I like to paint first. So as a watercolorist, we may have some issue. Normal problem is we keep layering over time because we did not paint dark enough the first place. So we keep layering it until we find that everything's muddy, right? So having even a small area of darkest dark as a reference, so you know from whitest white paper to darkest dark, you know those, in between, that's a spectrum that you're gonna work with. So you see, I paint here, and there are some area I use masking fluid to leave out some of the white strands, right? But yet, I also use smaller brush to help out to leave out some of the white spaces. Don't over doing it with the masking fluid because then you make it the hair so fake. Now I use a small brush to comb the hair, right? So make it not as neat. And for those who learn watercolor from me, they know that I don't like anything too neat. So the lights in the painting is coming from behind. So the face would naturally be in shadow. But we are the artists, right? I got to say, what colors I should paint on the face. As long as I follow the tonal value. Any questions so far? Yes.
How much planning goes into the colors you're using? Do you do it organically, like what you're feeling, or do you plan, you're gonna use certain tones and colors?
Great question. So you see my reference photo there is black and white, right? So the only thing I see are the total value, the darkness of the light and the day. So the color don't really follow what color I paint. I just focus into whatever hue, whatever color, but at the total value, right? So basically, any color, there's an equivalent grayscale value. So as long as I achieve that grayscale value, whatever color it is, and let the surprise happen on stage. Great reference.
It's okay.
But I don't know why I selected this music because even myself, after 10 minutes, I would fall asleep. So watching you now, I can tell, who is sleeping, So you can see I don't paint any facial features like eyes, nose, ears, mouth, right? I focus into the entire head structure, right? I focus on the planes and how this shift in the planes that affects the shift in color temperature and the brush strokes. Good question. The question is, do I ever use flat brush? Yes, I do combination flat and round, For those, follows my art more, so they probably know that I use a lot more round brush than flat. Right? You see now, I don't paint the eyes, right? As I said, I paint the structure of the head first. So I focus on the eye socket. Right? Without the eye socket, I'm not gonna paint any eyes. Even the eyebrows, I have to make, believable that there's something underneath, under that to support the eyebrows. And here I just, in my mind, I just think anywhere the face, the lights, then I'll give it a little bit warmer color. Whatever is away more on the side plate, I give more cooler color. Now the cooler color, I happen to use the color that I chose, but you don't have to do that. See, you can use any cool color on the side plate you wish. So let's talk about some of the watercolor technique here, right? So you can see my final piece. I like to see my art the final product is very thin, very fresh, transparent, and there's a lot of layers. Personally, I don't like layers. I don't like busy brush strokes, right? If you look closer, they flow and blend together. Well, I need to take that back. The brush strokes are very important, right? But I only intentionally have some very pronounced brush strokes at the very end. Let's say when you're near 80% or 90% completion of the painting, and that's where I give some nice strokes, right? That's painterly strokes. But all the underwork, I rather have everything flow together. Now one of the reasons why the watercolor has flowed so well, because the back side of the paper I already pre-wet, right? And it was soaking wet in the back side. And I affixed that to a plexiglass. So there's no escape of air, so the moisture gets trapped inside there, right? So the entire upper surface of paper, when you apply any layer of watercolor pigment on it, it lasts longer in the stage that you can manipulate with.
No blossoms.
Exactly. And you can see my brush also, they're not perfect brush. So my journey of watercolor, I went from very expensive brush to cost me $250 each. Now it's down to $3 brush. I only use $3 brushes, right? And I don't like any brushes that are too perfect because the tip of the brush is so sharp and pointy. I want every spread near defective. So if you have any defective, a brush you don't use, give it to me. Because having these kind of brushes, it gives me a lot of surprise as I work with the painting. That's number one. Number two is, it's very difficult for anybody to replicate my art, right? Because those texture is pretty difficult to replicate. And not just this piece of art, if you see any of my art, you would not see a continuous line of anything. So I don't do contour lines or continuous perfect lines. But it's just my style. I'm just telling you what my painting is like. But everybody has different preferences. So there are areas that inevitably it's going to turn to gray because by design, when you mix the complementary warm and cool color together, you got some kind of gray. But this gray, if you try to mix on the outside color palette intentionally and then dab it on the paper, that gray there looks dull. It's not going to be fresh. So I rather have the two colors mix and mingle by themselves on the paper. Right? But that takes a lot of letting go. You don't want to control everything that you paint. And there's a term I'm not sure if you're familiar with. It's called color vibration. Right? When you have two complementary color, we have a nice warm and nice cool color adjacent to each other, and do that randomly, organically, the entire painting becomes live, is vibration, right? And that's what you want to achieve. See, right now, I haven't even paid attention to the detail of the eyes, nose, and mouth, right? At this stage, I don't treat any person that I know of yet. I don't know the subject. In my mind, it's all about geometric forms. The form, just like circle, we put in 2D, we're thinking about sphere, right? I think about cylinders, I think of cubes, and I think of the planes of these forms and how it changes so that I can deal with the color temperature and brush strokes. And all the beard, I try to make just an impression or suggestion of the beard only, right? And I always advise everyone that when we paint, we don't paint the object, right? We tend to paint the object, be it a house, a tree, or a person, and person has to be the person I know, right? But to go to the next level, you need to paint the effects of lights on the object, not the object itself. So when I paint this painting here, I squint my eyes all the way. Yeah. I use $3 brushes and my color palette, you can see. And that's a small palette, and that's the only palette I have for any type of subject, be it landscape, still life, or portrait. I really recommend that you try to paint from black and white image, right? And that set you free from being confined with certain color that you have to follow from the picture. Now to come to this stage though, the training was, first we need to look at color image and convert the color image to black and white. Right? Black and white. And just focus on the big shapes and how these big shapes connected. In your mind, you only think big shape in black and white. That's the first stage. Second stage is now how you decode the black and white thing in your mind into the color. And when you paint with the color, it's more intuitive now. You don't care what it is, as long as they reach the same tonal value. Yes.
So the black, when you say the black and white, paint from black and white images, would you do that with landscape as well?
Absolutely, absolutely. So before I paint any color landscape. I was trying to, you ever heard of no tan study? No tan study? Okay, so basically you want to switch your eyes and group all the mid-tone. So let's say if you have a scale, a scale from 0 to 10. So 10 being darkest and this is lightest. And in mid-tone, it could be anywhere like 2, 3, all the way to 8, right? And that's in real life, you see trees, you see mountains, they all have different names here. But I train my students to collapse, first collapse everything into 150% gray level and see as a big mass of gray, right? That helps you for several things. Number one is to see big shapes all together. Number two is it helps to simplify things because part of the difficult in painting is the composition. So by having the big shapes and how you decide to connect these big shapes, that's your composition, right? So I would recommend they all do this true value first, black and white, before we move on to color. There I said, I always recommend painting the effects of light on the object. Now, so far, everything is the technical side. Now, the artistic side of the portrait is the next step. So, I have a habit, and I don't know, each person has his own habit. My habit is I engage conversation with the subject that I paint. Right? I could look silly if someone see me painting, like I talk to the person, right? And because later on I would see the eyes, the eyelid, the top of the eyelid and the bottom of the eyelid, you have to find a location that you can add an accent of warm color. If it's on top of your eyelid, usually it's more spiritual, more happy, more uplifting. But the red on the bottom side, you tell the person sad, some kind of not so good story happening, right? But where it is on the top, where it's on the bottom of the eyelid, and that's where I engage conversation with the subject. And when I say engage conversation by revealing what the story I want to convey, and by going back and forth, and until I hit the spot, and I just put the warm color in there. Right? And that's the artistic side of portrait painting. Each person has a different way. So right now, I still paint whatever based on the forms and colors like. Now, as soon as I get into the specific eye, this is the time that I talk to the person. This is the time that I want to know the person by name, by the story. So if you look at my art, and for some of you who haven't seen my book yet, I have 70 paintings, and each painting has its own story inside. And you can see my my painting, there's no sharp line earlier I talked about it, right? And some of you asked me why so. Well, in reality, if I fold the paper like that, right? Now you can see sharp line, right? You can see sharp line. But on human face, it's all neat. It's all cylinder here, sphere, right? So instead of using lines, focus on all the shadows. All the shadows that those already went through art school before, and now probably after 10 or 20 years, we forget, right? Shadow, let's say core shadow, reflected shadow, right? And midtone, light, highlight, dash shadow. Those are important elements. I'm amazed that you guys still awake, not sleeping yet. Any more questions? Yes.
How long, you've been painting a long time ever since it's sped up. How long before the paper becomes, before you get these
Yes.
things?
Yes. So this technique, when you wet the backside of paper, you kind of commit to paint them in one session. So this painting here, as I said, it took me about 2.5 hours, right? But when I finished, the paper is still damp, right? It still maintained that. So that's a good question, because from time 0 to time 2.5 hours, within that time, it's different stage of dryness and wetness on the paper. So your mind have to, and all technical question here, is that you have to know what type of viscosity of paint that you're going to apply to.
Like now is.
Right now it's different. So what are the stages of the viscosity of paint? We got tea, coffee, milk, cream, and butter, right? So as we go to, when it's so wet and you want to have a really good and soft spread to it, you can use milk or something like that, right? But if you want to control or fine detail, then you have to use at least cream and butter. Because when you paint your brush, if your brush is wetter than the surface that you paint on, you're going to create what? More cauliflowers, yeah, backgrounds. Yeah. Yes.
When you said you get to know the person, you mean you actually talk to the real person, or is this something you imagine in your mind?
Well, you see, I wish I can talk to a real person and a real person can sit there all the time for me. So nowadays it's different. So majority of work, you still work with the photos and even a photo of some stranger. But when I select, okay, that goes back to the selection of the reference photo, right? If that photo reference doesn't have the interesting light and shadow, it doesn't create some kind of urge in my spine that I want to paint that, and I don't paint. I rather not to spend time on it. So when I have that situation that I really want to paint, then it makes me have more desire to get to know, from that, what kind of story I want to tell. And at that stage, I don't know yet. So through the painting stage, at this stage here, then I kept trying to reveal more information. Okay.
You actually speak out loud.
Yeah.
To your painting.
Yeah, but in different type of languages.
It doesn't answer. What do you mean by different type of thing?
That I don't have control because English is not my mother tongue, right? So this channel here is automatic. It switches back and forth.
What language does painting answer?
This is what
Well, how do they answer?
how they answer you. I listen to that. It's amazing. I feel it. It's amazing. So this painting title is Backlit by Grace, right? Basically, we know it's an elderly man, soft light, soft white hair and beard, right? And the whole thing is like a halo, right? Because the backlit, right? And my faith affects my art a lot. So I don't know if you can see on this final picture, there is a cross on the left chest. right? And a lot of my art, if you look at my book or other art, right, majority of my art, there's a code in there that you have to decode to see that. Well, I've been talking too much now. Yes.
Oh, I'm just gonna say that you give more personality and life in your painting. That it's far beyond photo as a source.
Thank you.
Yeah. First might have the tonality you want, but there's no character. You give the character.
Yes, twinkle in the eye, something that tells a story.
Yeah. You can easily connect with it. That's what I want to achieve.
It is like he's had a conversation with you, since you're painting after the conversation. It does feel like he's spoken to you. The photo is taken.
Like he knows you.
And you can see close up the eyes. I don't have any like clear contour or definition of the eye because then it's almost like clear black and white. But you can see a lot of little things, and that's the time I spent knowing this person and talking to this person and finding. Well, I've been talking too much now. Well, time to test so that you don't fall asleep. So, what was my first step? What was the first step? I painted the background. See, I pay attention to, right? So the reason why I painted background is I wanted to establish the dark is dark and the white is white, right? Because this type of painting I have to commit to do in 2.5 hours, right? But if I don't have that established, then, you know, whatever I paint, it could be too light. Then later on, I have to add more. And by doing that, you run out of time. Your painting becomes so thick, and you start seeing muddy. Right?
In the background, the left side, it's kind of a geometric shape, but it's not in the photo. Why did you say that?
Yeah, you see, when I moved to somewhere, the half length of that long strokes there, I saw that if I continue filling in all the white, then it start looking into exactly the photo, or it becomes more of the rigid acrylic or oil painting look. So at that point, I realized I have to do something and soften it. Right? So I use a spray bottle just to, you know, deflect that out, right? Good attention to it. When you paint the eyes or draw the eyes, most people stop. Most people stop from here, from like that, boom, that's it. But in reality, all these are they're folded on top of each other. So don't be afraid to extend the end of this longer, really long. Okay, don't be afraid. So a lot of strand of a beard or hair, all that, I use the imperfect brush to achieve that effect. I only use masking fluid in areas that prevent me from doing the broad and vague strokes. Area that I don't have broad stroke, and I rather to achieve that through my brushes.
white bar. Mask. Actually adds a bit of balance to all the softness, you know, since they are guarded.
Exactly.
So that actually emphasizes how soft.
No, not at all. On here, no. It's all brushwork. So sometimes I sign too soon. As soon as I sign, I saw something else and went back. I don't know if it's good or bad, right? Because as an artist, you have to know when you stop. Sometimes if you stop too late and it becomes overwork. But here I found something very critical, so I need to go back. So we paint the background first and then we paint after. The place, yes, the structure, so that I can do the structure, right? Okay. No, in my mind, it's just the value, right? As long as that color achieve or equivalent to some kind of gray level that I have in my mind, and be it. I used to do, but I don't do it now. But on other subjects, still life landscape, I still do black and white first. Because I don't paint them enough. I paint more first.
We lift each other as we grow and let the love of painting show.